Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first of many Fieldlens webinars. Some of you might already know me, but for those of you who don't, my name is Eric Jansen. I'm an industry specialist. I have a background in project management, and I was a previous Fieldlens user. We're really happy that all of you taken out of the time out of your day to join this webinar. Just for your reference, this webinar will be recorded and shared. We'll share the slide deck and a follow-up email for everyone who wasn't able to attend. So rest assured, you'll get all this information. You'll get everything that'll be said here. So don't worry if you don't take in everything off the bat. I just wanted to quickly move through the agenda here today. We got a few things we're obviously going to touch on today. First, I'll run across the introductions. Next, Mike, who I'll introduce to you in a second, will tell you about who RedTeam is, and then following that, we'll go over some of the pain points and challenges that you all might experience, while out in the field. I know I certainly experienced a lot, and then how Fieldlens is here to help solve a lot of those. Then Sarah, who I'll also introduce to you in a second, is going to go through a brief product demo on the web app. And then we'll go over, next steps. If you want to, take an action item right now or during or after this meeting, we'll kind of tell you how you can kind of take those next steps and how to reach out. And then we'll leave some time for Q&A at the end. Of course, I'm sure there'll be some questions, and the gears will start churning. You'll think about how we can kind of implement into your organization. So we'll leave time for Q&A. We have a lot of good resources here on the call that can kind of help you answer all those. So just rolling into the intros, obviously we have myself here, and we have Sarah Naheisel. She's our senior implementation specialist. So she's gonna be a great person to give this demo, and she has a wealth of knowledge. We also have Michael Wright here, our founder and chief strategy officer. So there's no better person, in my opinion, to kind of give you all the overview of RedTeam. So I'm just gonna roll right into it. Let Mike kind of speak about RedTeam.
All right, thanks, Eric. And hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Michael Wright, and as Eric mentioned, I'm the founder and chief strategy officer at RedTeam Software. I am also a commercial general contractor with about 30 years of experience in the business of construction. And by the way, Eric has, Eric, Nicole, and Carrie also on this call. They also have hands-on construction experience. RedTeam's always prioritized industry experience as we built out our team. It's hands-on industry experience. It is something that really sets us apart from other construction technology providers. So I am just the warm-up act for today's presentation. My team's very excited to be presenting Fieldlens. And while RedTeam has several amazing products for contractors, I have to say that Fieldlens is one that really packs a punch. I can promise you this one solution can have a transformational impact on your business. Why? Here are just a couple of reasons. Number one, this solution is easy to use. Anyone able to use a smartphone or tablet can be up and running in minutes, making Fieldlens very simple to adopt by everyone on your team. Number two, this solution can be freely shared with everyone on your extended project team simply by sending an in-app invitation. In other words, Fieldlens is propagated virally on your job site. And I know that's a terrible analogy in this age of COVID, but that's how it works, and it's very, very effective. Because Fieldlens so easily displaces uncontrolled communication methods such as email, voicemail, text messaging, WhatsApp, maybe Facebook for some of the older folks on the job site like me. It can very quickly become one of the most important apps for communication and collaboration on your job site. By hosting day-to-day collaborative interactions on Fieldlens, on a single platform, this benefits your teams by giving them more oversight and control over operational productivity as well as better accountability. One of the best parts is all of this data captured on your job sites is then archived inside the Fieldlens platform forever. And as you can imagine, that gives you an unparalleled job site record, the ability to go back and look at all of the conversations, communications, and collaboration documented in the platform for every day on the job site is incredibly powerful for your teams. Again, thanks for joining and enjoy the presentation. I think I'm going back to you, Eric.
Thank you, Mike. That was great. Yeah, so Mike alluded to a lot of different challenges and pain points that, general contractors, subcontractors have, while out in the field, working back in the office. So, really we look at some of the heavy hitters on the left here, and then we have kind of some general sort of objectives we went out and tried to set out to achieve and overcome here. Kind of asked ourselves, where do we see communication silos that should be broken? Is there missing information because team members are unable to see specific drawing info or updated drawing info? Is there information that's just kind of being lost because you can't see the project conditions? There's obviously a big difference between just saying, oh, there's a leak, and seeing that there's a standpipe that's broken and putting gallons of water in that basement or wherever it may be. Is the technology that you're using up to date and cohesive? Are you just marking up in one sort of platform, attaching it to email and sending out in another? So are you kind of cohesive with all your use of technology? And then do you have transparency issues, or the things that maybe your owner or your GC should be seeing, or you want them to see that they don't really have easy access to? And then oftentimes, there are issues, and if you don't have a thread of, who is taking on what, sort of what court the ball is in, you don't know who to talk to and how to change or resolve an issue. So those are sort of some things that we thought about and tried to, alleviate those pain points. So this is why you're all here, coming back to Fieldlens. You are going to have, maybe you have certain workflows, but this is going to kind of help streamline and help alleviate a lot of those problems. And then, like I said, streamline any sort of workflows that you already have. Sort of just to give you my dime tour of Fieldlens and my previous experience with it. I guess at a high level, Fieldlens is a post-driven feed with minute to the minute, second to the second updated information. If you post something on the web app or on the mobile app, that's going to come through on the web app almost instantaneously. So field staff has the ability to post images, videos, tag issues on the drawings, so you really know what corner of the room that is. Perform markups, send RFIs, create submittals, and post them all to that project page. You have different ways you'll see in a moment. Sarah's going to show you different ways to kind of filter that. Make sure you're seeing just what you want to see, but it's all posted in chronological order, so it's a very easy sort of story to read. The primary use, and when we thought about this app, is the mobile use in the field, because it's very the field it's a crazy, hectic environment. You want to be able to kind of you want to document and move through things quickly, but you don't need a very highly technical, small buttons and tiny little font all over the place. So that's kind of where the driver was for that. As well as the mobile app, the web app is great to view. You have project executives, VPs of construction that want to have that high level view and want to be able to kind of click and read through and see how all the projects are up to date. The web app is a great way to review all this information, as well as create reports, manage drawings, and do stuff that's more suited to that, whether it's the field office or home office sort of workflow. And it's also worth mentioning, I know we do have some of our Flex clients here, the ability to connect Flex with Fieldlens. And then sort of thinking in other ways, well, you already have a great project management tool in Flex. You can also use Fieldlens to engage maybe your architects, engineers that don't necessarily wanted to get on Flex, but they can use Fieldlens, that's for sure. It's not just for vertical construction. It can be used for anything from inspecting conditions, logging that, architectural. They want to take progress updates, progress photos, or even, you want to just use this. This is my specific going to be my safety log. It can be used for a variety of different sort of lenses and scopes. And it's nice to know that maybe if a designer or someone on the engineering side isn't using Flex, they can use Fieldlens for sure. So I just wanted to, this looks very similar to the slide before, but I kind of wanted to drill down on, like I said, some of those heavy hitters. These are obviously very important parts of the construction phase, but these are also parts that are going to cause, a lot of headaches, hours spent on sort of trying to fine tune, push through these problems. So just working my way through the list here, we talk about RFIs. RFIs, come from the field. Great, obviously, huge part of the construction phase. With Fieldlens, you have the ability to create a clear picture with the markup capabilities, with the ability to take pictures as well as videos and pin it to the drawing, assign it, create a due date. You have that actionable item right there for an RFI. Punch listing. We all get to the end of the project, end of the scope in a specific area, and we want to just get through that punch list phase, make sure we're putting out a quality product and getting through there and making sure they have that certificate of occupancy as fast as possible. I can specifically think of a situation. I was working in an occupied building in New York, and we had tenant protection plan and everything, phasing, trying to make sure that when we were turning over these tenant amenity spaces, they were able to use them as soon as, owner architect signed off on them. So we were using Fieldlens to take pictures, document, and trying to get sign off as fast as we could sort of upload images there. So that's obviously a nice feature there. And then site logistics. So, I mean, it's a traffic jam in some sites. It's crazy. You're people working on top of each other, and the importance of knowing locations are ready for work, or work is still being done in certain areas. That's extremely important, because maybe, we do at times we need to pump the brakes on these little one-off subcontractors that maybe just have that last flooring scope, or maybe it's important to say, hey, painters, don't mobilize today. We need to save, we don't want to get hit with a mobilization cost. So having an extra set of eyes, your superintendents are doing everything they can out there, but maybe get another set of eyes, those PMs in the office or project execs. Hey, looking at this room, I don't think this is quite ready. Isn't that terrazzo guy supposed to show up on Monday? Well, let's give him a call Friday afternoon, make sure we're not incurring those mobilization costs, even though we're not ready. And then last, just talking about drawing management. We reference, drawings change so often. We call them cartoons sometimes. Knowing that you have most up-to-date drawings and everyone has access to those as well, and they're at the forefront, and you're notified if you're looking at the wrong drawing. It's very important to have that, especially now. Mike mentioned, tablets. You see a tablet, you see an iPad, on almost every job site now. So the ability to have that mobile app, be able to see, read the drawings, mark them up, that sort of thing, is a huge asset with Fieldlens. So I touched on it for a second earlier. I know we do have some of our Flex clients out in the audience as well. So this is something that had been talked about previously, is the integration between Flex and Fieldlens. A lot of that has come to fruition here. So you look at the right-hand side here. There's a bit of a diagram about how these two are now talking to each other. There was some thought put into sort of the directions of this integration. You can see that the creation of RFI, like I mentioned, a lot of RFIs come from the field. The ability to mark up, attach videos, attach images that from the field is extremely important. Closing an RFI, making sure the RFI from Fieldlens to Flex is talking to each other, also extremely valuable. Safety lists coming from the field back to Flex. So a lot of this stuff lends it sort of to maybe a predominantly on-site activity versus something that might be more honed in on from an office action. So that's just quick sort of Fieldlens and Flex integration there. I know that had been talked about for a little while. It's great to kind of have that come to fruition here. And Next, I just want to turn it over to our senior implementation specialist, Sarah. She's going to take us through a quick product demo. She's going to touch on a lot of stuff that I've been talking about here. So Sarah, take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric. Hi, everyone. I am Sarah. I'm one of the implementation specialists here at RedTeam, and I'm going to be kind of walking you through the fun stuff today. So we'll take a look at how a project actually works in the web version of Fieldlens. Now, we decided to show you the web version in this webinar simply because it's got a lot more space. It's a little bit more easy viewing and navigation for you guys in a webinar format. But it's important to note that one of the greatest assets of Fieldlens is that everything I'm showing you here can be performed in the mobile app as well. So your folks can be on site and taking care of these same activities as I would be here in kind of an office setting format. So that being said, I train several different products here for RedTeam, and I truly believe that Fieldlens is the quickest and easiest to pick up. That's one of my favorite things about this platform, is that you can learn it in a couple of days. Really, it's so simple. Like Eric said, it's post driven, and what that means is every piece of activity that you create here within your project is what we call a post. And you've got various types of posts, and they show up here in this news feed, if you will, where you've got kind of a live feed of what's going on with your project. So just to kind of orient you, I am here in a sample project here, my assisted living facility. I've got 4 different tabs here that we'll kind of walk through. First, we're going to walk through the Posts tab and the People tab. Those are available to all users, including our free Fieldlens users. And then we'll get a little deeper into the Reports and the Drawings tabs. Those are for the paid subscriptions. So kind of some great added features there for folks who are on the paid plan with Fieldlens. So here on the Post tab, this is where all the big work happens. What we're doing here is we're seeing a feed of all the different activities going on in this project. And you can see that I've got some nice color coding and various icons here to kind of cue me into the different types of posts. You can see over here, we've got RFIs, submittals, punch list items, and safety list items. And then we have an additional option to create these kind of blue circle posts here that you can see. These are posts without what we call a flag. So it's not one of those 4 items. It's just some generic activity, and that can be great for daily progress reports or important updates that you need to pass to the team. So I can, from this page, go ahead and click on any one of these to view the post. We can open our RFI here and see the information in the post. We can see who's involved or assigned, and we can have discussion and reply, add information at any time, including files like Eric said, video and photo files. We can add those anytime we want. We can even add audio files. So this one here, you can see has an audio file attached for folks to go ahead and listen if it wasn't convenient for me to type in all the information that I want to share in that post. We can also filter through all of these posts. On the left-hand side, you can see these really great focus areas. I can just go ahead and focus in on posts that are open and require action, or those green posts that are resolved, and I can verify that that safety issue has been resolved and close it out. I can look at specific types of posts. And then for those of our paid subscription users, you'll have this advanced filters feature down here, which is awesome. I can filter down in a really specific format, things I haven't responded to, or posts that are past due or have resource tracking. We've got the ability to add locations and categories to all of our posts. So I can specify where that post is related to on the work site and what specific categories of information it's pertaining to, what particular topics. So, and even better, if I'm using those advanced filters, I can go ahead and save custom filters. So it's easy enough for me to go ahead and save to return to that set of filters with one quick click of a button. And I'm seeing a question quick here in the Q&A section. So someone said, are there limits to file storage and file size within Fieldlens? There's no limits to file storage. As you're uploading our drawings, those are going to be a file limit of 250 megabits. So great question there, but no file storage limits. You're able to kind of upload as many files as you need. So from here, we're going to look at how to create a post. And that's as simple as coming up here and clicking the new post option. And again, remember that if you're on the work site, you've got your app up on your phone or your tablet and you're doing the same thing. Click create a post. We're going to go ahead and give it a title. Now I'm going to make this kind of a generic post, and we'll just say daily update for 1/26/23. And then I can go ahead and assign who this post is going to be to, which allows me to dictate who on the project should be kind of privy to this information and is interested in what's going on. And when I go ahead and browse, I can assign it to people within my project, particular companies who are working on this project if I want multiple people there, or individual emails. If I have folks that, are just joining Fieldlens, they don't have their information in yet, we can go ahead and add them as well. So we're just going to add RedTeam, my company. We'll go ahead and add my company as part of this particular post. And then we've got the details section. That's really your free field. That's where we go ahead and put in any of the information that we need. So I'm just going to kind of bullet list a few things that are going on site today. So we'll go ahead and say that our bathroom fixtures were installed. We're going to say that we had prep work for flooring. And then we'll also say that our security cameras for the memory care wing were installed. So you can see there, I don't have a space limit. I can just go ahead and continue to type what I need. If that's paragraph format or bulleted, could be a simple sentence, could be more. And then I can assign this to anybody that I'd like. So if there's someone who's responsible for taking any action, I can go ahead and browse through my people again on the project and assign that to individuals. Now this is a daily update, so I don't need to assign anyone, and that's fine. I can also browse locations. Now, I mentioned multiple locations in this post, but I can go ahead and show you the ability to build different locations. So I can, for example, say that this daily update is related to the main floor. And I could get more specific and say the dining hall, right? Notice that I can have up to 4 sub-locations for each of these different main locations that I build. So you can get really specific, and this can be great when you're creating RFIs or submittal items or safety items, things where you need to really drill down and specify exactly where that issue is occurring. We can do that right here. So those locations are buildable for each project, which is awesome. You can customize them for the work site. And then down here's your post flag. Right, there's my 4 different types of posts, but I can also for this one just say no flag. It's none of those. From here, I've got some buttons along the bottom. You've got the way to assign more people, right? Just like I could up here, I can assign individuals who are responsible. Add categories. These could be broad overarching topics or categories that I use to organize my posts. So I could call this daily reports, right? I could have a particular category for daily reports and then go ahead and group it. We can add more locations. We can pin this to a drawing. So a daily update may not need to be pinned to a drawing, but we'll go ahead and demonstrate that just for the purposes of our demo here. I can then go ahead and select any of my drawings that I have. And again, that drawing management feature comes with the paid subscription. But I can go ahead and say, hey, on the ground floor, here's my drawing. And I can go ahead and say work was occurring in the bathrooms. We said the fixtures were installed. I can simply click and hold. Now my post is pinned right here. So as folks look at that drawing, they're going to be able to view that post and see that there's an open post related to the bathrooms on the ground floor. So now notice it goes ahead and includes a sample of that drawing and shows us where the pin is at. We can attach files. So I'm going to go ahead and attach some photos. We can attach those from a variety of sources. So notice over here, you can pull these from Dropbox or Google Drive, anything that you may be using, or you can just say, from my device. So I can drag and drop, copy and paste, or just click to search. So I'm going to pull in a few photos here. We'll grab these few progress photos and drag 5 of those in. You can see it's going to go ahead and auto name them, but I've got the ability to edit those descriptions if I need, and then just upload. It's going to pull those right into this post, and they're going to be viewable for everybody who has access to that post. So we can go ahead and let those come in. And then from here, we've got the ability to save draft posts. If I'm not done with this daily update, I can come back to it later today. Or if I'm building something that needs to be replicated, maybe I need a particular task completed several times, I can duplicate that post. And then we'll just go ahead and post this to the feed. It gives it a name or a number. So it's post number 7 for the project. You can see I've got new updates. So anybody who's logged in will be able to view that new update. And there's my new post with all of my photos. We can go ahead and click to open it. We'll be able to see nobody's assigned, right? So I don't see anyone assigned, but we can go ahead and reply. Anyone who's working with me on this project or is party to this post can come in and have discussion. We can ask questions and we can gather more information there and attach additional files as needed. So from there, we're going to go ahead and move over to our people tab. So we've talked about how to collaborate with folks. How do we add people to the project? And one of, again, my favorite things about Fieldlens is how easy it is to get people involved in a project, because it's as simple as saying, hey, I want to add someone to the project. They don't even have to be a Fieldlens user yet. I can simply type in their email address. So we'll say sample user at yahoo.com, right? And it's going to give me the ability to go ahead and add their email address to the project. It's going to send them a welcome email. And then I have the ability to fill in their company name and their individual username for the purposes of the project, right? They will get an email allowing them to create a free Fieldlens account, and they're going to be able to log in and start seeing these projects the same way I'm seeing them now. So it's very quick and easy to add people. You can see over here, I can track who has logged in and registered with Fieldlens yet. So I sent out a lot of invites for my project, and these folks haven't necessarily created their Fieldlens account yet, but I can see when they do. We also have the ability to come in and kind of drill down as well. You've got some basic filters, and again, those advanced filters if necessary to find whether it's your subs, your owner, your architect, your engineer, anybody that you've added to the project. You can kind of drill down to the right group of people. Now, from there, we're going to talk about some of our paid subscription options, which is the reporting functions and drawing management. Over here on our reports page, I have the ability to create and export a report anytime that I want. And you also have that on the post tab. You'll notice that when we get into the drawing. So this export report button is in a lot of places, not just the reports tab, because we want to make it quick and easy for you to just group together a bunch of posts and create a report. When I go ahead and click export report, you can see it automatically includes all of the posts on the project. But I've got this filters tab. And basically the way that I generate a report is I just filter down to the things that I'm interested in. I want to see open items, right? Or I want to see a particular report for RFIs. Whatever that may be, I go ahead and refine the posts that are being included. And then I can go ahead and title this. So this is titled all posts, but I might say RFI report through 1/26/23, right? I can go ahead and give it any title that I'd like. I can indicate who I want to send it to. Right, so it's very quick and easy to just type in names or emails of people on the project. We can add additional notes if we'd like, and then we can format that report. So we've got a couple of preset formats here for you where you can go ahead and decide how you'd like that report to look. You can determine if you want it to be a PDF or a CSV file when it downloads. And then you've also got this option to customize. So if you don't like any of our layouts, you can look at all these checkboxes and kind of determine what exactly you'd like to include and not include. Lastly, you can go ahead and schedule a report to be recurring. So if I want to pull this same report with these same filters and layout on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, I can do that. And it's going to allow me to very quickly create the report, and it will send it out to everyone in the to field, which in this case is just me. So you can see this new one I made, all posts for January 26th. Now on my reports page, I can see my scheduled reports, my one-time reports, and also any reports that anyone else has shared with me. So you're never going to lose those. We're going to email them out to everyone in the to list, but you're also going to have them here, and you can come back, view those or download them. You can even rerun them, which means I'd like to go ahead and update this report. Same filters, same settings. Let's run it again if it's not a recurring report. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at a sample report here. I've pulled one of those up. So this is just a PDF, and we'll go ahead and open that up wide so you can see it. We've got a cover page here. Let's bring that down a little. That's really large for you guys. I'm sorry about that. So we've got our cover page. You can see it's going to bring in your logo. It's going to give you an overview of what's going on in our project, the ability to keep our resource tracking for our updates, what companies were on site for any of those update posts we had. We can see individual posts as we come down. And again, you're going to retain that color scheme of, this exclamation mark letting you know it's a safety post and the green letting you know it's resolved. And you'll be able to see all of that information. I do think we have one in here. There we go. This is a nice update that I made yesterday, where we can see the photos attached, We can see the weather included, resource tracking, all of that good information. So very quick, easy reports, which I think is a great feature here. And then our last page we're going to take a look at is the drawings page. Again, this is for our paid users. We can go ahead and upload drawings right here as a PDF. Or if you're one of our Flex users and you have that integration, as you're uploading all those plans and specs into your Flex project, the drawings can be pushed. You simply checkbox the ones you want, push them across to Fieldlens, and that's going to allow you to manage them here. You can also perform all your updating in Flex and push that across. But not to worry, if you go ahead and upload updated files here as a standalone Fieldlens user, it's going to automatically notice that I uploaded AO3 Delta and it's already here. It'll go ahead and pair those together so that you've got the new updated copy, right, kind of overwriting the older copy. So let's take a quick look here. Off to the side, notice I've got filters, just like I did on the other pages. I can go ahead and filter down by discipline or advanced filters here. And I'm going to go ahead and say, I want to look at drawings that have posts, meaning that I pinned some of my posts from the post page to those drawings. So let's look at that ground floor plan. Click to view. We can go ahead and drag this around. We can zoom in. I can see the posts existing on this project. You can see I've got an RFI right there. And I can see I've got a submittal item here. And then there's that daily update that we made today. So I can click on any of these to go ahead and open up a brief overview, or click again to open up the full post. And I can see here that this is a submittal item. We need some shop drawings. I can see who it's assigned to. I can mark them resolved, or they can mark themselves resolved. And then when I verify, I can mark them closed, right? You've got that full post functionality here. You can filter down just like you could on the post page to a subset of the posts on this drawing. And then if you need to be communicating with this drawing, you've got the ability to mark up here. So two different ways to mark up and attach, which is generally intended for kind of a wider audience or a wider subset of your users, where your employees will be able to go ahead and make some, what I would call temporary markups onto the drawing, and then attach it to a post to ask a question through an RFI or to point out a safety issue. They can go ahead and make markups that don't become a permanent part of the drawing. We mark it up, we attach it to a post, and it's sent out. Otherwise, for a more select group of folks, that's permissions based, we can allow redline markups. And that's going to be generally for your project organizers or your PMs, folks who are going to be making permanent changes to these drawings. So if we go ahead and come in and look at the redline markup feature, you'll have the same drawing markup features, whether it's markup and attach or redline. Doesn't matter. You can mark it up in the same ways. I can go ahead and draw, highlight, or highlight text. I can go ahead and add image files here. I can add notes or text boxes. And then I've got various line types here where I can make lines and shapes as needed. So all sorts of ability to mark it up. And then when I publish, this becomes the new current copy of that drawing. So, and you'll find those same features over in Flex. So if you're making those types of markups, you can push them over from Flex as well. The last thing we want to mention here is your ability to compare, and we call this an overlay comparison, right? So we can go ahead and compare older versions. Now this one doesn't have an older version, but if I have multiple versions of the same drawing, I can go ahead and overlay those for comparison. So I think that does it for our general demo here. You've had a chance to see kind of the basics of what it does. Again, those posts and people pages are for the free users. Reports and drawing management come with the paid subscription. But I do want to mention that the remainder of our webinar series is going to dig much deeper into these features. So on February 16th, we've got another session for our GC kind of focused GC perspective that will be digging in here. And then we've got another session March 9th focused on a subcontractor perspective. So with that, I'm not seeing anything in the Q&A. So Eric, I think I'm going to go ahead and turn back over to you.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. That was awesome, Sarah. You made it look super easy, but to be honest with you, it is kind of that easy. There's, only a few tabs up top, basic sort of filtering, focusing sort of aspects. And like I said, it's post driven, and you can show, really what's going on the job site. So just quickly recapping some of the key takeaways is you have that ability to collaborate. You have that level of transparency that you can control, whether you're a subcontractor, you're a general contractor, maybe you're an owner's rep or whatever, that you kind of want to have your own digital backlog there. Control that, have the transparency the way you want to. There's actionable information there with due dates, assignments. You can see, Sarah showed us how to close things out or how the approval sort of workflow works. And then there's tracking progress. You can see, obviously, what the site looks like. You can see where there's posts on specific drawings. So very easy to see, very easy to track where the site is right there. And there's a couple different things that also help aid that process. Sarah mentioned, a voice sort of memo there. There's also the ability to have videos, and then also marking up the drawings and attaching those to posts to, show sort of what certain conditions are, maybe what's actually represented in the field. And then, also talking about our Flex clients, again, I want to make sure, you feel represented here as well. With Flex, then you get, you have a perfect, that nice, robust sort of project management tool, but then now you have this full construction management suite sort of bolstered by this Fieldlens tool as well. So just quick recap, and then kind of just showing you, you've seen the product. I've talked about it a little bit. Maybe you want to take a next step right now. We do have the ability. These QR codes will work right on the screen here. So bring your phone camera up, make sure they're in focus. But you can see you can sign up for the free account, give it a try. Sarah kind of talked about what's in the free version, what's in the paid. If you have that free version right now, or you're a current client, you want to upgrade to that paid license, go ahead, tap that bottom one. But thank you once again. And I just wanted to also mention, we'll leave this up on the screen here for a second, just so if you want to take out your phone and do that. But once again, you'll be receiving a follow-up email. Feel free to reach out to anyone, whether you find an email somewhere or see us on LinkedIn. Everyone's here to help. But you'll have this recording of this webinar. You'll receive this slide deck. So we'll share everything in the email follow-up, and we're more than willing to talk, and would love to help everyone out in the best way we can possibly do that. So now I think we're just going to open up for questions. If you guys saw anything that you liked, curious about, and we really appreciate it once again for everyone being here. I'm going to open up the Q&A and see what we have here. First question: does connection to Flex require a paid account? So the Flex integration, you're currently paying for Flex. You're not going to pay for the integration, but you're just going to pay for whatever the number of seats are for Fieldlens. One of the nice things that, I can't believe it was Mike or Sarah mentioned, you're paying for seats in that sense, but you have unlimited projects there. So kind of a nice sort of perk to the Fieldlens. Can I use Fieldlens without having internet access? Yes, you can. There are, so there's actually a toggle feature you can turn off. You can kind of set it for that no internet ability. That will obviously, you're not going to be able to load certain items because you won't have the internet, the ability to do so, but you can use it without internet. And then also, just from my experience, I've been down in the depths of buildings where you're not going to have access to that Wi-Fi, but I haven't toggled on the no internet feature. I just kept posting and taking pictures. They'll temporarily sort of house that, and then once you get up above ground or wherever you are, once you have that internet access, then they'll upload. Next question: how much does Fieldlens cost? So you can go over to our RedTeam.com website. You can see there's a few different pricing tiers, but that'll kind of give you an answer to all those questions as far as pricing goes. I mean, also you saw there's a free version right here. So if you want to go ahead and try that out, you're more than welcome to give that a try. And then the same sort of question: is there a cost to join Fieldlens for RedTeam's Flex users? Yeah, I kind of addressed that. No cost for integration, but you will have to just pay for the seats for the Fieldlens product. No question, but just want to say Fieldlens is excellent. We are pushing the hyperlinking function on drawings and pushing it pretty hard, and has not missed a beat. Great product. Thank you, Charlie. I really appreciate that. Yeah, awesome to hear. Yeah, feel free. We still got quite a few minutes. Do you have any other questions, thoughts, comments? I don't have to mention your name if you want to ask maybe a silly question, but no such thing as a silly question, but feel free. Well, while we have a few seconds, maybe people are typing other questions. Just from Sarah's demo, kind of a few thoughts kind of came to my mind. That reporting function, I think, is extremely valuable. I can't tell you, just about every project I've been on, you're sending out a weekly or making some sort of cumulative monthly report. The ability to kind of have that set it and forget it feature is really nice. You're going to document and update your field conditions in Fieldlens anyways. And someone, I guarantee you, whether it's VP of construction, project executives, maybe PMs that are managing multiple projects, they're going to want to see that that update and the ability to kind of set it and forget it. You get to send it out, every Friday at 3 p.m. or the 30th of every month, whatever it may be. Really nice feature. So just something kind of wanted to touch on.
Well, the other cool thing, Eric, is you can set it and forget it, but the system is actually keeping track of all those reports and all that collaborative interactions. And so you're never going to lose that data. You've always got that data.
Yeah, absolutely. We did have one question. Any consideration being given to the use of QR codes within Fieldlens in the future? I might pass that off to, I see Sarah starting to nod and smile.
I was going to say, I think I can maybe add some context to this. I don't know if this is one of our Flex users, but I think they might be referring to that feature we have within the Flex mobile app, where you can have locations throughout the work site with QR codes. Now, I don't know if that's something we have planned for the future, so I might ask Mike if that's on the horizon, but yeah, certainly. So they're used to that QR code function from the Flex mobile app.
We currently don't have that capability in the Fieldlens platform today. However, what we'll see over time is closer and closer integration between the Flex and the Fieldlens product. And so certainly the QR code feature is really helpful for managing punch items, particularly on a large sprawling job site. And definitely it's something we're looking into.
Another question. I see this session is being recorded. Is there a link to this recording that we can have at the end for future viewers of today's session? Yes, we're going to be sending out all of this information. Feel free to share it to your friends in the construction industry. You think this might be a cool idea, colleagues, teammates, wherever. No more questions at this time. Okay, we got one more. We are a GC and are slowly getting our subs on board for daily reports and making sure everyone is using the latest drawings and has the most current information. Yeah, I mean, I would say this is a great tool to kind of dip your toe in the water. You saw Sarah do a live demo in 15, 20 minutes, and that showed a large chunk of Fieldlens. So it's easy in that sense, but it's extremely powerful. I know from my GC experience, it's tough to sometimes get subs on board with technology. This is something, it's a good sort of way to enter. and if they start to see value, whether it's they can prove that they installed something properly, or this was the installed condition, or it helps resolve, they have a specific RFI, maybe it doesn't work all its way up to, the engineering or the design team, but if they can kind of have an organized way of, making themselves heard, feeling their information is in an organized place, and that's a great value add for them as well. So.
You look, every one of us in the industry has experienced that pain of walking out onto a job site and seeing a subcontractor or an employee with the wrong drawing and actually building from the wrong drawing. And so definitely, Fieldlens is built to solve that by distributing updates electronically. You're ensured of everybody having the most current drawing. And that applies whether you're using Fieldlens as a standalone tool or you're using Fieldlens to complement our Flex product. Both of them give you the ability to make sure that people on the job site have the most current drawings. In addition to having the right drawing, it also gives them the ability to do the overlay, which Sarah talked about. And so people can very quickly see what's different about the latest revision versus the prior version.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. That was good. You kind of touched on, I missed that drawing portion of it. And then it's also worth mentioning that we do have a few other webinars, Fieldlens geared towards, and there's one in March specifically geared towards subcontractors. We have another comment. Fieldlens has been really helpful. Do I dare say better value than XYZ company? I appreciate the love. Thank you. It's good to hear that we have some real cheerleaders out there. So really appreciate it.
Well, Eric and Sarah, I think we're about at time. So awesome job. I think that was really helpful for our audience. We're very excited about this product, as you can see. So we look forward to continuing this conversation in future webinars, and certainly we're available to address any question that may come up after we finish here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, everyone. And if you want to sign up for other webinars, feel free. Our RedTeam.com, other webinars to come. So really appreciate everyone coming out today, though. Thank you.
All right. Thanks all.